we saw the upward movement in the DSY, that is from 105 to 106 level, and then on Wednesday we saw the decline back to this, which retest that high on probably on Friday. Yeah, it will test this high on Friday, and you can see the formation of double top in the 4-hour time frame right there on the DSY. And the significant one we have in the economy is the in the economy report is the core PCE price index, and it comes out as expected. What is the effect on the US dollar? The effect is bullish to neutral last week, that is on Friday, because we first saw this movement, and then it decline back, which means that there is no significant effect. Bullish to neutral means that we first saw probably the bullish effect, and then it's declined back. And in terms of the economy of the US, and there are two perspectives into the economy. The Fed is seeing the economic growth, and whereby the citizens are not really happy with the inflation, and then as inflation has come down to 3.3%, that is a 9% below the 2022 high of the inflation report. So citizens thinks in terms of price when it comes to inflation, and then the economists and Fed believe in growth. You get, so because citizens will rate inflation based on what they are buying before. Let's say they are buying bread as low as let's talk in terms of naira now. They are buying bread as low as 200 naira before, and then probably maybe a year after they are buying it as high as 400 naira. Citizens will still believe that. I will believe that inflation is very, very high, not taking the wage growth into consideration. Wage growth means that the amount they are receiving at 2022 is different from the amount they are receiving probably in 2024. That is a wage growth. So wage growth goes in line with price, you get. So if you're buying something in 2020 and your salary is let's say you are buying bread at 200, your salary is 30k, and in 2024 your salary is let's say 60k, you can't expect to be buying bread at the same amount of money. So the growth the Fed is talking about is when they see that the inflation is at so percentage before, and then it has reduced to this percentage, and they will see it in their growth curve. But probably maybe the prices of things are still high, the citizens will still believe the inflation is high. I think that's what is happening right now in the United States. So the Fed, they are still determined to bring the inflation back to 2% level. Okay, so that is their targets now, and then we have a lot of economic activities coming out next week. Next week is a very, very busy week, and in terms of this DSY, what I'm actually looking at on the DSY is to the downside. You understand? Probably maybe back to this particular level, because if you check this area in the higher time frame, this is what you see initially. This is what you see here, that there is in an area of resistance of this trend line at this particular level, and then there is another one here. Probably you should see price coming back to this area, probably maybe we test, and then we're coming down to this area of 105. So going into the next week, what I'm actually looking at on the US dollar index is to the downside, which means that after we saw this double top here, because as you can see, price came here, it declined, and then we saw a new high. Price create a new high, decline, but here there is no new high formation, which means that seller are actually around this particular area, because as this price didn't form a new high, we might see a decline back to this particular area right there. So before we go to the individual currency, let's check the economic activities of next week. Next week on Monday, we have the German prelim CPI, and then we have the ISM manufacturing PMI on Monday, for the US dollar. And then it's the new month, so this is a leading indicator. That is indicator news. That is the ISM manufacturing PMI is a leading indicator news, which comes out let's say at the beginning of every month. So we have this ISM manufacturing PMI coming out on Monday, and then on Tuesday there is Fed Powell speech on Tuesday. And then on the euro side we have the euro flash PMI, and then the cost CPI. So the CPI flash estimate here, and the core CPI flash estimate. There is AUD monetary policy meeting on Tuesday too. There is JOLTS job opening on Tuesday in the US dollar. So brace up for the US dollar next week, because there is a lot of economic activities in the US dollar next week. And then US dollar, we have the ADP non-farm employment change, and then unemployment claims, final service PMI, ISM service PMI. Next week is a very, very busy week in the US dollar. And on Friday we have the NFP, which is one of the biggest news in every month, the non-farm employment change. So brace up for a volatile week next week, so you don't want to be caught at the wrong side of any move next week. So let's see how that goes. So let's go to the individual currencies. So the first one I want to check right here is gold. So I believe gold will actually bounce from this area. So this is where I'm actually looking to buy gold from. Probably maybe you can retest 2319, and then we see a bullish decline back to 2364. And if this level break, you should be looking to 2385, and then this is the highest level right here, which is 23448, which is a very strong resistance level. But mind you, this area too, you should be very, very careful of this area too, of 2412. So what I'm actually looking at is a bullish dollar going to the next week, because this will be invalidated if it actually break this level of 2395 to the downside. But above 2295, then we can still see, let's say price didn't go as planned, and then you now see something like, okay, price break this and come down. You should be looking for a bullish bias at this particular level, because this particular level is a very, very strong support level back to 2364 and then 2412. And at this area, you don't want to enter without any confirmation candlestick at this area, maybe in the 4 hour, 1 hour, or 30 minutes. So let's see how price react to this area going to the next week. So I'm still bullish on gold going into the next week, as probably you'll see the DSY decline from that particular level. On pounds US dollar, I'm bullish on pounds US dollar because as you can see, this didn't create a new low after we saw this particular decline, this particular rejection here. It come here, didn't create any low, and then probably we should see price breaking this level to 1.27367, and if this level break, you should be looking for 1.28113, and then the trade will be invalidated if it break 1.261572 to the downside. And if you see a break of 1.26157, then you should change your bias to a sell bias back to this particular 1.24539. But my own bias is to the upside, so I'll be looking at how price will break this particular level on Monday. So that's when I will actually go long to take profit here, and then take second profit here next week. So the next one is euro US dollar. Euro US dollar too, if you check the overall, in the higher time frame, when you check what price is doing in the higher time frame, you see that it's still creating, I don't think there is a sell bias now, because what you can see here is it's clear that price still want to go up after we saw this particular decline here, and then sellers started losing momentum at this particular area. So let's see how price react to that level. So in the daily time frame, what you can actually see here is that price has created a series of supports here, which means that we can see price coming back to 1.08445, especially if there is a break of this level right here. So let's see. So that level, you can just draw that level there, and if it breaks to the upside, that's when you enter your buy bias. So you can see the picture clearly in the 4-hour time frame. So this is the 4-hour time frame. So what you will be looking at right here is for price to probably coming back here. If there is a one more retest and price then invalidates this low, then you should be looking for a bullish bias back to 1.0845, and if this level break, you should be looking at 1.09500. But don't ignore this resistance right here. Don't ignore this resistance right here. So I'm actually looking at a bullish bias on Euro USD going into the next week. So on AUD US dollar, what I'm actually looking at is a bullish bias, but you might actually see something like an invalidation of this range, because you can see price is in a range. After it break out here, then price now comes into the range at this area. So probably we can see a decline back to this area, and then if price finds support here, then it can break this particular high going here, which take profit might actually be at this high, and the first take profit will be at this high if there is a decline back to this area, and then there is a level of support here which price takes into consideration. If price takes this into consideration, then we might see a bullish bias confirmation candlestick here, which might take the price and break this particular high. So I'm actually looking at is for price to either come back, find a support here, or breaking back, and then maybe find support at any of this particular level to the upside. That is on AUD US dollar. And the next one is SND US dollar. So my bias on SND US dollar is to the upside, which means that we might see price ranging at this particular level, and then might see some kind of support level here, which might actually push the price back to 0.6 to 0.40, yeah. So this is my safe zone here. If price break this to the downside, then I'm no longer trading SND US dollar. So I'm either buying SND US dollar or do nothing to the next week, because I'm actually looking at price to create a level of support here, which I'll be waiting for the price to do it on Monday, and then if I see a green light, I'll enter a buy bias on SND US dollar. So the next one is US dollar Canadian dollar. What I'm actually looking at here, if you see the overall picture of this, you see that there is a level of a resistance here. It's very, very strong resistance at this particular level, and then when you notice what price did here, there's a formation of this price going to the resistance, and it rejects. And when price go through again, it did not come to this area, it reject at this particular area, which did not even go to the high, or talking of forming a new high, which means that there's a rejection at this high, which means that sellers are actually losing their momentum right there. And then as you can see, if you come to the daily time frame, after there's a creation of these two significant high, price decline, and we saw it going high again, and it declined at this particular area, which means that sellers are actually doing what, losing their momentum, which means that price, they might drag, buyers are losing their momentum. Buyers are losing their momentum right there. That's what I want to say. So which means that sellers might actually take over and drag the price to the downside. So what I'm actually looking at is for price to probably maybe you can see a retest of this level. Price might actually come here and probably you might see a retest of this level, and price will decline to the downside. So that's what I'm looking at on US dollar Canadian dollar, a sell bias. And then what I'm actually looking at is for price to break this trend line to the downside. I'm looking for a break of this trend line to the downside, which means that there might be a bullish momentum, and then at this area we might see a bearish pressure which will break this trend line and then follow suit to the downside, because this area is a very strong resistance level which price has rejected multiple times. So the last one we want to analyze for today is GBP Australian dollar, which you can see that there is a various level of support right at this particular level, which means that this one will be might not be an exception, and price has already declined here, which means that we might see a bullish momentum on GBP AUD going back to this high, or probably you take your profit step by step. So this is what I'm actually looking at on the GBP AUD. If there is a green light here and the price rejects here, I'll be looking to buy GBP AUD back to 1.91011 going to the next week, and if this level break, should be looking at 1.92256. So guys, this is the weekly forex forecast, and do well to subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget that if you still want to use the GBP US dollar bot, is still available, and then making huge profit, and the profit will be up to, let's say it will be up to like a year of profitability in July without any losing month. So there's a link to a verified broker in the description box, which you can use to register your broker, that is HFM. And because if you are not using HFM, I don't think you have a broker yet, so there is no issue on withdrawal, on deposit, on anything, and you can actually use crypto to withdraw and deposit, which is fast, very fast and convenient. So have a lovely trading week, and don't forget to trade safely.